Exclusive tutorials, study sheets, and storyboards are available on my Patreon. In this video, I'll be talking about how to get your own style when you're drawing your own manga and anime in general. In the background, you'll see me draw some random sketches to keep the video pretty chill. I'm Kai, a 90-year manga artist from the UK. I'm currently working as an assistant on Monsters We Make. Basically, I just wanted to go over some super small things when you're sort of trying to find your own style and figure that out. And before I start the video fully, I just want to say that style shouldn't be an excuse for sort of mistakes or things like that. Even though mistakes do leak their way into individual people's style, I think that typically what you want is to be very mindful of what you're doing, at least as much as you can. I think naturally an artist's mistakes will always find its way into the work, and it will add some kind of personality and flair. First, you do want a basic foundational skill, your basic fundamentals. You want those down to an extent before you start, sort of trying to stylize things. I think that having a basic understanding of the way things work in real life, or at the very least, having an understanding of anatomy even a little bit and things like that, can really help you when you're actually trying to stylize in general. And when it comes to stylizing, the first thing you want to keep in mind is sort of copying other artists and seeing what they do and implementing that into your own work can be super helpful. Figure out how they draw eyes or noses or ears. Essentially, you want to, bring their own, stuff to your own style. What you actually see a lot of is when artists first start out, they can be sort of clones of someone to an extent. You see D.D. Mark, Yusuke Murata was like a huge influence for him. Third PHP was like, sort of leveling. Even for some professional comic artists, you'll see that they had a studio style first, and then after that they evolved and did their own thing. Essentially, having that foundation of, copying another artist can be super helpful, I think. And then after that, you can start sort of bringing in other influences. I mean, you don't have to become a clone of someone, that's not what I'm promoting here. You can do what you want. But essentially, you want to, be good enough that you could replicate a style if you wanted to. And what comes after that is sort of preferences as a whole. Let's say you don't want to take a whole art style. Maybe you like individual things from that art style. Let's say you like the way they draw eyes or faces, or the way they draw their anatomy. Small things like that are gonna find their ways into your work as long as you're being mindful about it and finding different ways to implement it. Essentially, what these preferences will do will actually be the foundation of your style in general. I mean, let's say your preference wasn't even something art related. Let's say, you had a thing for fashion or the way certain head types are drawn or something like that. I think that can also find its way into your work too. Like, let's say you like drawing black hairstyles, or you like drawing more loose fitted clothes or something like that. You can figure out how to implement these small things in your work, and it will actually make an impact on sort of your style as a whole and the way that you're perceived. It's surprising, but super small things can really make a big difference when it comes to, forming your own style in general. The different things that you take from different artists and the different things that you take from different forms of media can really shape your style as a whole. You notice something big right now, like Gachi is hugely influenced by like graffiti and stuff like that, and that's what makes it super interesting to some people because it's so different and unique in that sense. In addition, something like Danadan is super out there, and you'll see big Godzilla monsters and things like that. Godzilla type monsters, and they'll find their way into the story too. It's about bringing in these different elements from different things that you enjoy and putting those together. And what I will say is that style is always evolving. It's always going to change, and it should always change. You should not get stagnant because you're like, oh, this is the way that I draw faces, this is way. No. You should be always trying to one-up yourself and find different things that you enjoy, different things you like, and finding new ways to put that into your work too. You don't particularly have to be in a rush to sort of find the style either. I don't think it's super important initially. Initially, I think you do want that foundational skill, like I said earlier, because it's important to sort of have these things down to be able to actually stylize to an extent. Even if you don't have like, oh, I can draw portraits and stuff like that, you don't really need to be able to do that, but you do want to at least be able to draw somewhat well and not box yourself into a hole of like, oh, I only do this type of style, because then you become stagnant. But yeah, that's all from me. Peace out.